They told you class was about the cut of your suit, the size of your house, the people you dine with. They told you character was a nice trait to mention on your resume, but not necessary for profit. And cash? They made you believe it was the root of all evil, unless they had it. But here's the truth they never dared to whisper out loud. Class is not inherited, it's practiced. Character is not optional, it's everything. And cash is not the devil, it is the echo of how you think. The world you walk through today is drowning in noise, status updates, opinion pieces, hollow success, people wearing wealth like a mask and hiding poverty of soul underneath. But the currency that never fails, the standard that never cracks, is built in silence, forged in discipline, and crowned by truth. If you were born poor, they'll count you out before you begin. If you were born rich, they'll assume you don't need to fight. But both lies are traps, because the war has never been outside you, it's always been within. What separates the greats from the forgotten isn't birthright. It's not the accent you speak with or the bloodline you carry. It's this, the relentless pursuit of becoming someone even you would admire. Class is not champagne and silk. It's restraint when insulted. It's elegance when tested. It's the quiet power of someone who knows who they are and refuses to scream it. Think of the greats. Lincoln rose with humility while others craved titles. Carnegie gave more than he kept, though he could have bought kingdoms. And Ford, with dirty hands and sleepless nights, revolutionized the world, not because of where he came from, but because of what he believed was possible. You want cash? Good. Want it without shame. But understand this, cash without character is chaos, and character without action is poverty in a silk robe. You cannot build wealth until you build worth, not net worth, self-worth, because the man who wakes up with clarity lives with order, and the man who lives with order invites prosperity like gravity invites the rain. Belief is the seed, discipline is the soil, but class is the way you walk through the storm without breaking your stride. What was right? They didn't wear crowns, they earned them. With sweat, with silence, with standard, and when they fell, they rose again. Because true class doesn't stay down, true character doesn't need applause, and true wealth, real wealth, is built quietly, in the dark, while others wait for permission. You don't need a perfect past, you need a present filled with purpose. You don't need 10,000 followers, you need one unshakable mission. And that mission must be this: to become the person your future self will thank you for. So, what is class? It's the decision to rise with dignity when the world calls you nothing. And character? It's the discipline to keep going when no one claps, when no one sees, and when quitting seems divine. And cash? It's the reward, not the God, not the goal, but the result of a mind so ordered, a spirit so committed, and a vision so unshakable that life finally gives in and says, "This one's earned it." They will tempt you with shortcuts, get rich quick schemes, overnight fame, influence without integrity. But understand this: anything gained without growth is lost without warning. A man may inherit a fortune, but without character, he'll spend it like dust in the wind. A woman may stumble into success, but without class, it will crumble beneath the weight of her ego. And you, if you chase cash without a cause, you will confuse noise for legacy and regret for reward. There's a deeper economy at play here, an invisible one, where your thoughts are the currency, your focus is your investment, and your energy is the compound interest. Most people are broke in this economy, not because they don't earn, but because they waste. They waste their attention on gossip, their time on comparison, their energy on doubt. But you, if you choose differently, you rise differently. You become wealthy not just in wallet, but in wisdom. And wisdom is the rarest form of wealth because no one can steal it, no recession can touch it, and no market can devalue it. Look at history's titans. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, but his mind became a lighthouse for the future. He didn't dress like royalty, but he owned light. Walt Disney was bankrupt more than once, yet he imagined worlds when the world told him to be realistic. Because here's what they knew: class is consistency when nobody's watching. Character is courage when everything's crumbling. And cash, real cash, is just the shadow of value. Build the value and the shadow will follow. You want to change your life? Then raise your internal standards. Don't ask, "What do I want?" Ask, "What do I now refuse to tolerate?" Do you tolerate mediocrity in how you speak? Do you tolerate fear in how you move? Do you tolerate excuses in the name of being human? Because your standards define your story, and every great transformation begins not with action, but with identity. Not, "I want to be rich," but "I am no longer poor," in mindset, in spirit, in discipline. The moment you shift your identity, you shift your outcome, not eventually, instantly, because reality bends to the beliefs of the bold. But belief alone is not enough. Belief must marry behavior, and behavior, repeated, becomes character. Character, refined, becomes class, and class, upheld, becomes legacy. You cannot fake this. You cannot buy this. You become this. When you wake up early, even when no one will know. When you treat the janitor with the same reverence as the CEO. When you speak truth, even when lies pay better. That's class. That's character. And that, over time, builds cash that lasts. You see, true wealth is not measured by how many people know your name. It's measured by how many people speak your name when you're not in the room, with respect, with admiration, with reverence, because they saw you stand tall when most bent. They saw you give when you had little. They saw you speak with clarity in a world addicted to noise. That is rare. That is elite. That is royalty of the spirit. Let others flash their gold. You refine your grit. Let them chase applause. You chase excellence, because money comes, fame fades, but who you are when no one is looking, that echoes for generations. So, if today you feel broke, ask not what's in your bank, ask what's in your mindset. If today you feel lost, ask not where you are, ask what you believe you deserve. Do you walk like someone with purpose? Do you speak like someone with vision? Do you act like someone whose soul is on fire with destiny? Because those are the footsteps of class, those are the fingerprints of character, and those are the foundation stones of wealth. Do not measure yourself by what you drive, where you live, or who applauds. Measure yourself by how often you refuse to compromise. Measure yourself by the promises you keep to yourself in silence. Measure yourself by the dream